Hello again, YouTubers. I'm here to make my second video. I wanted to quickly say that I was super blown away at how many people saw my last video. I was not expecting that. I really thought like 5 to 10 people would see that video. um, so thank you all. I'm new to YouTube, so I don't know how this thing really works yet. Um, so in my last video, I was sharing my experience being raw vegan for 5 months, and now it's been I'm almost to 7 months. So in 10 days, it'll be 7 months of being raw vegan, and I feel incredible, and I want to inspire you. So today I think I want to focus on just the changes that I've been going through the past month or so since my last video, as well as I really want to talk about women's health, I guess, menstruation, stuff like that. And before I get into it, I also wanted to say that if you do want to follow me on social media, I have Instagram, and my Instagram is just Together as Love. And the second thing I want to say is I'm not a medical doctor, so this video is about entertainment purposes. Oh yeah, and I also wanted to talk about the energetic, emotional, mental space of being raw, or aspect about being raw vegan. I feel like lately I've had some insights about that as well. So, oh yeah, and I'm also gonna answer some questions that people have been asking me on Instagram, basically. So, in my last video, I talked a lot about my health history. Again, I didn't know so many people were gonna watch it, so oh well. Oh well, it's out there. It is what it is. We're all human. But yeah, I think it's been a whole month out of the past 6 years of my life. I think I'm at like a whole month where I have not had any candida, and I'm so happy and I'm so thrilled. So yeah, stick around for the video if you need some inspiration to get your body healthy again. So really quickly, I'm going to answer a few questions. So people have been asking me if I drink water still. And yes, I do still drink water. However, since going raw, I do not drink nearly as much water as I used to. I probably drink less than half of what I used to drink. I used to drink a lot of water. I just always used to feel really thirsty, so I don't know. I think it also has to do with the way your kidneys are working, and I know now my kidneys and bladder are a little bit stronger than they were 7 months ago. And I am also taking herbs throughout this process, and I've been kind of experimenting with different herbal formulas. Right now, I am using Dr. Morse's herbs. And I think herbs are one of those things where if you want to use them, but if you don't believe in herbs, then don't use herbs. It's whatever works for you. But I'm somebody that I like to do I like to like do all different things and just see what works. I also go to acupuncture, and I've gone to acupuncture for a little over a year now. And I am always going to recommend acupuncture, even though even though I can understand why some raw foodists would not want to go, because in Chinese medicine they kind of tell you not to eat raw food, but I think that it's very, I think it goes deeper, and I'm just not aware of like the deeper aspects of Chinese medicine. But yeah, it has helped me a lot with my hormones, insomnia, and it just helps. Acupuncture is amazing. Do it if you can, or try it if you want. I think that's, oh, and then the other questions I've received is just about, have I had any cooked food? So I'm going to answer that in this video. The short answer is yes, I have. Something that I have learned through Chinese medicine is that it's a lot about the energetic properties of your body. And what I mean is, in my last video, I had spoke about how I was dealing with a lot of different IBS things, and I've had really poor digestion, malabsorption, just, you name it with anything IBS. So not only does it matter what physical foods you put into your body, it also matters what you're consuming energetically and emotionally and mentally as well. So it's whatever you take in to your being. So this extends, this goes beyond the physical. And I do think that this is really important, because I feel like people don't understand that it's all connected, and what your mind focuses on is everything. And so it's imperative to stay positive, stay strong, all the good cliche things I could say. And whatever you need to do to heal, just do it. So if that means that you no longer watch the news every day because the news sucks, and it's upsetting, then that's okay. I think it's okay to take a step back from this culture, society, etc., and do that. Take care of your inner work as well as the physical and eating good. Because I've been thinking a lot about my own healing journey. What you focus on, you become. What you focus on, you pull toward you. So I do believe that a lot of my own healing journey and other people who are on similar paths, I do think that a lot of the healing comes from you just actively healing, like energetically every day you're healing, and you're saying, thank you, body, and you're focusing on your body. Whereas before I started this journey, it's like you get really caught up in the day-to-day, and you're not really thinking about what you're consuming. You're just kind of like eating, Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just doing the thing because you have to eat. But when you switch to raw, you start to think more about like what type of lotion am I putting on my skin, because this is going to go inside my body. And you're just so focused on healing your body, like healing. I'm so focused on healing my digestion, and I've also been doing stomach massages. And so I think just that energy, that focus on these particular things, I do believe brings some sort of healing to some level, to some degree, because you're focusing on it constantly. Yeah. I will also quickly mention here that I have been meditating for over 10 years. I'm a metaphysics teacher, and so there are a lot of raw foodists who go raw and then they have all of these kind of like awakenings. Just really like their deep trauma will come up, or whatever it is, or stuff like that will come up for them. And I wanted to quickly say that I think because I've been such a strong meditator for so long, that stuff hasn't came up for me being raw. So yeah, I can't really speak on that. So there are other people who can speak more about that, but I can only imagine that when you go raw and you're eating all these light hydrating foods, I can only imagine that it would bring things up, just because because when you're eating dense cooked foods, it kind of masks pain. And so when you eat really light foods, you can't like hide. You can't hide anymore. You have to face whatever it is that you are kind of like masking and comforting, because raw food is not going to comfort you. It's just not. It's just it just wants to elevate you, you know? So there's that whole aspect. Yeah. I know a lot of people go through that, where they just like have different spiritual awakenings, and I think that's quite common. So I think that's that energetic stuff. Okay. I also wanted to mention that other things I've been doing. Since I went raw, I have been chewing my food meticulously. So when I eat, I take so much time chewing my food, and yeah, I just try and chew it as much as possible. Sometimes it's hard with fruits, because fruits, like, I swear, like half the time when I'm eating mandarins, like it kind of just like goes down your throat, and half the time I'm like choking. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean with certain fruits. Sometimes it's just hard, like they just go down. I will say that now that I'm at the 7-month mark, basically, I will still say that nothing digests as easily as fruit digests. Not dates, not dehydrated food, not grains, and not vegetables. And certainly not nuts and seeds. Again, my opinion, but that is what I've noticed personally. Nothing digests as good as fruit. So, and I know this because I still have a lot of healing to do and malabsorption issues. And so let me tell you something that usually would be TMI. And because of this malabsorption, basically what that means is that my body just doesn't digest food very well. It doesn't break the food down. So even though I've been having salads every single day for almost a year now, okay, the salads are like, the leaves are still leaf-like after they digest, okay? And it's been almost a year that I've been having salads every day. So my next step with the greens is that it's almost Christmas, and I know that I'm getting a Nama juicer for Christmas. So I am gonna start doing a ton of green juices, because I just really want to make sure that I'm absorbing more of those minerals. So I also in my last video, I received a comment that somebody had said, be careful as a woman to have enough fat in your diet. And I think that they were referring more to long-term, being raw for long-term. And I do agree. And I also do agree that omegas are extremely important. And I did want to say that I do take omega plant-based supplements. I take like the Nordic Naturals vegan omegas, because I'm not scared that I'm gonna mess my omegas up. I just want to be smart about it. So I do supplement those until maybe later I'll eat more nuts and seeds. So I also do supplement. I take a B complex, but I've noticed being raw, I don't really need it as often. So I take B complex vitamin about every 3 days or so. And now that the sun goes down at 4 p.m., I'm also starting to take some vitamin D supplements. So yeah, omegas, B12, vitamin D. I mean, I think every single thing else you can get from your diet. I hear you on the selenium thing, but I don't know. I'll just have a Brazil nut every once in a while. But right now for healing, I think I'm doing really amazing. And I did bring up the fat topic in my last video. So I want to expand on that now that I'm almost at 7 months. The longer I'm raw, the more my body can handle fat. And I'm not saying nuts and seeds, because my body still does not like nuts and seeds, but I'm talking about avocado, coconut, tahini. I can handle the raw tahini, and I can also handle a little bit of the raw almond butter. I don't do it every day though. So I've been super sensitive. Yeah, I've just been really sensitive to the nuts. I've also noticed that as a woman, I do start to feel like I need more fat closer to when I'm about to start my period. So usually my PMS week, I do put a little extra fat in my food. And yeah, it just seems like my body does want that and like it. And I also tend to do more seaweed. I have the raw nori sheets for like sushi, but then I also use sometimes like just like the wakame. yeah, I tend to just, I do crave more greens, seaweed, and a little bit more vegetables around, like right before I start my period. A lot of this lifestyle is trusting your body, trusting yourself. No matter what I say, no matter, even if somebody's been raw vegan for 50 years, I believe that you still should always trust yourself and your own body and your intuition, and just be careful. Don't do something just because somebody else told you about it, because that's just pseudo intelligence. Real intelligence is knowing yourself and basing things off of your own personal experience. Because what else do we have? So I do eat more fat around my period, and I have just noticed in general that like I can just handle a little more fat in my salads, and it's making me really, really happy, because for the first 5 months I was doing under 10% fat. Yeah. And that was harder. That was like harder than anything, was the fat thing. But I do feel like for me, between month 4 and 5, I felt so much better. I kind of felt like it was like this uphill climb, to the 4 month mark, and then I kind of feel like I reached like a little plateau. And I still feel that way. I still feel like, okay, I climbed a little bit higher, and now I feel even better than I could ever imagine feeling in just 6 months, which is so crazy, because I didn't know if I was going to start feeling better after a week, a year. You never know. But I also wanted to say that I did switch up my herbs as well between like month 5 and 6. I started taking 2 new herbal formulas from Dr. Morse that I had never taken before. So I don't know if it was those herbs that like got me to the next level. I'll never know, right? I'll never know if it would have happened naturally, but I feel so much better after like 4 or 5 months. And also so let me dive into women's health. When I first went raw, I was hoping that my periods would magically get better, because a lot of people just say that, oh, I went raw and right away, like I had no pain, and I'm like, okay, let's see, because my periods are really, well, they used to be extremely terrible. Like, I can't function. I can't get out of bed because the pain, that type of pain where you can hardly breathe. Like, you can hardly remember to breathe because the pain is so immense that all you can do is just kind of like hold your breath and just be with the pain. There's nothing else to do. just be in pain. So when I went raw, my periods did not get better. Acupuncture does help your period. When I went raw, it did not get better until like month 5. And it's still not, I'm not going to say I'm not painless yet. I still have pain. I still I try to be natural, but I still take like white willow bark for the pain. But my last period, I did take Advil, even though I hate it, and Advil kind of makes me feel like sick on just by itself. overall, every single month that I continue to stay on this path, every single month my period does improve, from the pain to the amount of blood to how quickly I can get back, feel back to normal. And my period is also, it kind of like, it just comes quickly and it goes quickly now. So previously my periods sometimes I would have cramps for a whole week before I would even start. Sometimes I'd be spotting for a whole week before I would start. It was never consistent and the pain was insane. And so that's what I mean. So now my period, it kind of like, I'll have some cramps and then I'll bleed and then like it's done. And then like it's only, you know what I mean? There's no lingering spotting and cramping and this and that. It just kind of comes and it's gone. So yeah, I can definitely say that raw foods are healing in so many different ways, and they really do heal your hormones and heal your pituitary gland. I've also taken herbs for my pituitary gland, and I do think it helps. I also want to circle back around and talk about the cooked foods I have had during these almost 7 months, and you'll see what I mean by circle back. Because of my period pain, every single month except for 1 month, I did eat like vegan sushi rolls. So every time I had my period, I was just literally stuck in bed. And so I didn't know. It's like, yeah, I could eat fruit, but this is what I mean. There's something about being in pain where you want dense, like you want denser foods to comfort you. And that's why I have so much compassion for people, because I know that it can be so challenging, if you're doing this because you're depressed or something, like that's got to be the hardest thing ever, because when you're really upset or you're like in physical pain, it's just hard. It's hard to do the raw. At least, this is my opinion. So I did eat like a cucumber avocado roll once a month, basically once a month up until now. And I usually pick a lot of the rice off anyway. So I would think that the amount of rice that's on 2 cucumber avocado rolls, the amount of rice is probably half a cup total. And for me, it actually did digest okay. The rice did. Thank goodness. But I didn't like want to make it a habit or anything. But I will say that if you're watching this and the idea of being raw is just like really difficult, then I think that unless you're coming to this lifestyle because you need extreme healing, like you're on your deathbed, unless you're just like so sick coming onto this lifestyle, I do think like it's okay to eat a few not raw dinners here and there. as long as you're eating most of all of your calories from fruit during the day. Hydrating, juicy fruit, not dehydrated, not dates, like actual ripe, good fruit. If you eat most of your calories from fruit and then you want to have like a little rice or something, I think that's decent. I still feel like beans are evil. I still feel like beans are evil and like potatoes. I don't recommend potatoes. A lot of people do the raw till 4 and then have potatoes. I don't know what it is about potatoes, but I've never craved potatoes. They've never called to me. And I've never had a potato and been like, wow, I feel so good because I ate that potato. Never. Whereas if you eat fruit, you're like, wow, I feel like so much more energy from this fruit. I don't get the potato thing, but do you? Do you? But I will say, stay away from protein. If you are trying to heal your body, stay away from protein. Do not eat beans. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, but based on my own personal experience, if you want your body to heal and you want your stomach and intestines to digest food well, I don't believe beans digest well. And I've been slowly looking into like just the nature of plants, and I really do think that as frugivores, we are supposed to eat the flesh of the fruit, and then the seed is for growing more fruit. It's not necessarily like you shouldn't just like have a meal of seeds. It's just so silly to me. We're supposed to eat the flesh of the fruit. So beans are like another form of the plant's seed. I know a lot of people eat seeds. I get it. I know. I'm trying to eat more seeds. I just made a pesto sauce the other night with hemp seeds. I'm really trying to be just open to everything, but right now there's just nothing better than fruit. There's absolutely nothing better than fruit. And also, when I first went raw, I was definitely eating a lot more dates. I think because dates are kind of dense. But the past, since like the 4 and 5 month mark, a lot of things changed. And one of those things was that I just really stopped eating dates. And I do believe that because I've been focusing on fruit, that it's been that much more healing for me. So the past 3 months, I've mostly been eating mandarins. I just eat a ton of mandarins, and I'm doing so well on them. And I really recommend like oranges or mandarins. They're great. I don't really ever buy melons, but I'm trying to like be more open. But again, I've just really been liking the mandarins, so I just keep buying mandarins. And I do eat bananas every day. I eat bananas, spinach, smoothie every single day. I have not got sick of it. It's been probably almost a year now that I've done just bananas, spinach, a little vanilla bean powder, and blend it up, and I'm still not sick of it. It's so cool. It's so cool because if you're watching this and you've never done raw before, I feel like it can sound so boring, and like how do you keep eating the same fruit every day? And like, I don't know, but it just works. And you know what's funny is that I feel like this only works with raw, because if I if I were just eating normal food and like, let's say I had a hot dog every single day for a year, like I would never get that far with like being able to eat like a hot dog or something, the same food that's cooked every day. But you can do it with fruit because we're supposed to be eating fruit. Fruit is what we're supposed to be eating. And it's just so obvious. It's so obvious to me. Now, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, I think that's mostly what I wanted to cover. Again, when I did have the sushi, it took me a whole hour to eat like two veggie rolls, because I was chewing so thoroughly. And I also have been not drinking water while I eat. This is a new thing for me. So I don't drink water while I eat food anymore. I don't know if you've ever experimented with this or not, or if you've noticed anything different. Let me know. I'm really curious. I don't know yet. Like, I don't know yet if that's helpful, but yeah, I've done that. I'm also less addicted to salt than when I first started. When I first started to be raw, I was so addicted to salt, and all I really wanted was salty foods more than like sweet fruit. I was just doing the fruit, but I was like, I can't wait for my salad later because I just want salt. I want like onions and garlic and all this pungent kind of stuff. And now I don't know. I still think my salads are my favorite, but the fruit is good too. I love fruit, of course. Like, who doesn't love fruit? Fruit's amazing. Fruit is good, but I am still kind of like craving that salty, like garlic flavor, but not as much as in the beginning. It's probably at least cut in half. I think this video is long enough, but I just want to say that if you are getting into this, you can do it, and it's only hard in the beginning. It's hard in the beginning because you're still working through your old cravings. And as soon as all of the old food is out of your system, you really don't crave it anymore. I've been around cooked food every day. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. It's really cool, actually. The last thing I will say to you watching this is that if you have interest in the raw vegan lifestyle, I say that you should just go for it. Douglas Graham's 80-10-10 book is really helpful, but otherwise, I think you should just go for it and start having salads every day and fruit every day, and start to see that fruit is food. Fruit is not an after meal dessert or a snack. Fruit is not a snack. Fruit is the meal. And just start wherever you are. Whatever you have to do, just start. Go one day all raw. And then if you can do one day, then maybe you can do 2 days. And if that's too hard, then do one meal a day is just fruit. And then you can have 2 cooked meals. And kind of like go from there and see how you feel. But I'm somebody who just jumps in the deep end. I like to rip the Band-Aid off. I personally find it a lot harder to do like half raw and half cooked and this and that. And I also really want to say again, I said it in my last video, but I really recommend that you stop using oil. All oil, even coconut oil, even the most expensive cold pressed oil. I recommend stop consuming oil. I don't think humans are supposed to consume oil. I did have a salad. It happened twice now that I did have a salad at a restaurant. This is like the hardest part about being raw is just that the culture is just not set up in that way. So I did have two salads at two different places, and I knew going in that the dressing is probably gonna have a little oil, but I did it as an experiment. And yeah, both times that I had salads at restaurants, it took me like 5 days to recover. Like I just didn't feel good. My digestion got weird. Even though it's a salad, I think we should not be consuming oils. Oils, proteins, grains and starches, nope. And obviously animal products. Obviously animal products are the worst thing ever. Animals are animals. Animals are not humans' food. We are not predators. Oh my God, look at our teeth. Look at our hands. We have thumbs. The reason that we have thumbs is because we need to like pick fruit off of the tree. If we were meant to eat cows, you would just walk up to a cow into its neck, and then you would just eat it raw like an actual lion does. So animal products are the worst thing ever. Don't do it. Yeah, eat plants, eat fruit, take natural supplements. You don't need to take Tylenol and all this stuff. If you eat well, you're not gonna even be in pain. You're good. So, okay, sorry, I get really passionate about the topic, but I'll say goodbye, and also I'm gonna put a link in my bio if you want or interested in using my code to buy some of Dr. Morse's herbs. It's a 5% off code, and I get 10% back. But no pressure. I'm just gonna offer it, and I'm also offering a one-on-one course where I help you transition to being raw and maintaining the raw lifestyle, maintaining the proper headspace that you need for this, and just holding your hand through the process, because it can be a really daunting thing. But again, you can do it. And thank you for everybody who watched my previous video and is watching this one. I will plan to make some more YouTube videos in the future.